Hey everybody, Ketwolski here, checking out with another one of our hashtag Star Trek Discovery Season 3 discussion videos. Now, many of you may be asking, Ketwolski, didn't we already talk about Star Trek Discovery this week? Why are you making another video? It's called content creation, motherfucker. So today I wanted to talk a little bit more about my theories for the third episode of Star Trek Discovery, what may or may not be going on with the character of Detmer, and kind of a few more theories around the burn. The third episode of Star Trek Discovery Season 3 is titled The People of Earth. So this kind of leads me to believe that we're going to be visiting Earth to see who really is left there and what those people and really aliens, possibly because, you know, the Federation folks that were living there are kind of like now post-Federation, post-warp drive capabilities. So I do think this is where we're going to run into some of those characters that we've seen kind of in the previews that are wearing those really nice blue uniforms that look to be like they were holding the Discovery at gunpoint, but that may just be because they're kind of nervous about the Discovery either jumping into Earth space or warping there, because that would be kind of a foreign technology. So I think that's who we're going to kind of run into and kind of see a little bit more about what's going on with those people. Now, we have seen in the trailers that there are two distinct groups of future people that the Discovery crew is kind of interacting with that are wearing uniforms. We have the blue uniforms that hold the Discovery crew at gunpoint, and then we have these folks in these weird gray uniforms that we don't really know too much about, but they kind of look like the time cops from Star Trek Voyager. So it is possible that those folks in the gray uniforms are tied in some way to those time cops, but it's not quite clear yet. Now, one of the theories that I do have kind of going on in my head, I discussed this the other day on a live stream that I did, is that the people in the blue uniforms and the people in the gray uniforms are both offshoots of remnants of the Federation, and the people of Earth is going to kind of go into two different groups. Like, I think maybe one group decided to adopt a more militaristic and hard-lined attitude, which may have been the blue folks, where the gray uniform folks may be trying to uncover a way to undo the damage done by the burn, and we're going to kind of have to use the Discovery crew to reunite the people of Earth. We do have a couple of episodes called Unification in this season, for instance, so it's possible that they're going to work to kind of bring everybody together and kind of redo the Federation internally and kind of get that out there for everybody to actually be able to, you know, kind of know about and kind of, you know, rebuild the universe as a whole. So that's kind of my running theory about what the people of Earth is all about. I think we're going to see starships. I don't think we're going to see the similar ships that we've seen before. I think we're going to see some cool future tech while also a mixture of old tech, but that's kind of my theories around what's going to happen with the people of Earth. So now I want to talk a little bit about the burn. I kind of just mentioned that there. So in a clip that was kind of leaked online, I would say, we get a little bit more information about what the burn was, and essentially all that it really has to do with kind of this, you know, the needle moved a little bit in terms of the knowledge, so it's not really a huge spoiler for a lot of people that have already caught up with the season, but essentially what happened is the dilithium mines dried up, and then all dilithium in the universe suddenly went inert, causing all of these warp drives to just collapse. Now, a lot of you, and explode. So a lot of you may be saying, well, what about the ships that didn't have that? Well, I'm sure they're probably still working. And then don't forget, though, Romulans did have a singularity drive, but they did utilize dilithium. And don't ask me to get into all the technical stuff. Go over to Trek Yards. I'm sure they'll be able to explain it all to you. But dilithium was a core component of that, so when they went inert, it caused all of the warp drives and just these faster than light speed capable ships to explode, and that obviously, ruined pretty much everything. So that is what we know a little bit about the burn, but we don't know why all the dilithium mines suddenly dried up, and we don't know what caused them to go inert and then cause all these big explosions. So I assume that's going to be somewhat of what we kind of uncover throughout the rest of the season, to kind of dig into that and figure out what it is that caused it and maybe potentially undo it, or at least hold the people accountable who accidentally or maybe intentionally did do it. So I don't know about that. We're still kind of uncovering a lot more there. I originally was kind of nervous that the burn was going to be related to Michael Burnham. That is still technically on the table, since the original theory that most people had, including myself, was that it had to do with the Omega molecule, and that doesn't seem to really be the case here. So it is possible that something to do with what Michael did with the time-traveling suit caused the burn to occur. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. I really don't want her to be the cause of the burn. I would prefer it to be something else, something new, maybe even a brand new badass alien species, something that's really original, that's a new antagonist for the Star Trek franchise that isn't just Klingons or Romulans or Cardassians or Ferengi that we've seen a million times over and over again. Maybe they're going to give us something new, something fun, and something completely unique that would be, really fun, I think, to kind of actually experience as Star Trek fans. Okay, so one final theory that I do want to talk a little bit about is what is going on with Detmer. Now, so for those of you who have seen episode 2, you realize that after she kind of went end over her console and kind of hit her head on the side that had the cybernetic attachment piece there, which she injured and had attached to her face after the premiere of Star Trek Discovery Season 1, The Battle of the Binary Stars. So she kind of got up and she was kind of acting really weird, a little bit shell-shocked, maybe a little bit dazed and confused, possibly concussed, but then she went to sickbay and they actually cleared her for duty and that she was not, in fact, concussed. So that leaves the question of why is she acting so weird? And there's possibly two schools of thought here, and I'm leaning towards one of them more. One of them has to do with like control, and maybe some kind of the nanites or some kind of signal from control has now infected her, cybernetic attachment piece, similar to that of what happened with Arium in a lot of ways, and is now kind of messing with her mind and kind of causing her to freak out a little bit. The other theory that people are kind of running with, and this is the one I kind of lean more towards, is that she's having a little bit of a PTSD moment after everything that occurred on the Shenzhou from the first season that we saw, and then everything that occurred in the second season. Remember, these people are just coming out of the battle with Control, that huge, giant battle at the end of season 2. They are right smack dab into this, second episode. So for them, it's all super, super fresh, and she's seeing, her piloting capabilities directly impacting the lives of people on that ship. Even though she did a great job and everybody congratulated her, and she did do a great job, still people were hurt, injured, and lives were lost because of what was going on external to that. Things that she couldn't control but may feel guilty over. So I think that there may be a PTSD element here that we haven't really talked a lot about with people inside of Star Trek. They kind of don't touch on it too much. We got a little bit of that with Shazad Latif and, his character of Ash Tyler and stuff, and there was a couple of other things going on there, but this would be an interesting take for Detmer. She would give her a lot more depth as a character. I've always liked the character. I shouldn't say I never really disliked or liked. She's kind of just there, So this is giving her a little bit more depth. And I'm worried that they may be leading up to a death for Detmer because, the last time we got introduced to one of the characters in the background of Discovery, which was Arium, she died that same episode. So hopefully that's not what they're leading up to here, but it is possible. I don't know. But I think it's more of a PTSD element, which I think is a fantastic, very realistic, very, very topical, kind of discussion to be had within science fiction that relates back to the real world with things that are people that are really dealing with a lot of PTSD issues all across the board, not just in war, but just in life in general. So I think it's a great time to have that discussion. All right, guys and gals, that does wrap up my video for today. Again, I just wanted to get these kinds of different theories and ideas out there for you. I'm kind of gushing in my mind about it, and I wanted to continue to talk about it, and I didn't want to bloat my review video with too many theories because then it just turns into a theory slash, speculation video as opposed to a review video. So I wanted to kind of break it up a little bit. So I'm very curious to hear what your guys' theories are about the burn, what the people of Earth are going to be like. Do you think I'm on the money with these two different factions, or what's going on there? And what do you think's going on with Detmer? I'm very curious to hear what all of you guys think about these different things. Get your stuff up down below, and we'll go ahead and get that conversation started. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies!